Good evening. I'm Ed Moore III. Tonight, our special broadcast will revolve around the achievements of African American men. This week, Monday to be specific, marks the 49th anniversary of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his extensive work in realizing the dream that all men, no matter who you are or where you come from, should be created equal. We here at WLJS News gathered our very own group of African American men who have contributed to their communities in their own special way, whether it be in the field of politics, religion, photography, fine arts, or civil rights. Tonight, we sit down with these men as we discuss with them why they chose to become community-based leaders, the struggles they face in their positions of leadership, who inspires them to press on when times get hard, and the messages that they have for other young black men who want to do the same. This is an Ed Moore III special, Our Fathers, Our Brothers, Our Leaders, a night of honor for African American men. Today's date is October the 19th, 2013, and this is WLJS News.
In every heart, there is a drum that beats steady and strong. It does not know defeat. I feel it proud and know the sound of true belief. In every soul, there is a memory of standing tall, the proudest we could be. I cannot fall, for I recall we were born in majesty.
And when the long night has been fought and won, we'll stand in the sun.
And we will raise our hands, and we will touch the sky. Together we will dance in robes of gold, and we will lead the world remembering that we were kings when we were kings.
Now is the time, here is the mountain top. When one man climbs, the rest are lifted up. We'll ever stand, we're closer, yeah, to a higher destiny.
And when we reach out to claim the throne, every man will know. And we will raise our hands, and we will touch the sky. Together we will dance in robes of gold, and we will lead the world remembering
8 minutes past the hour here on 91.9 FM WLJS Jacksonville. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ed Moore III. It's such a pleasure to be with you all on this Saturday evening, October the 19th, 2013. Tonight, it's an Ed Moore III special. Our fathers, our brothers, our leaders, a night of honor for African American men. As I said in the introduction, Monday marked the 49th anniversary of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his extensive work in realizing the dream, the big dream, that no matter who you are, the color of your skin, the neighborhood that you come from, or your nationality, we all should be created equal. And we here at WLJS News gathered our own group of African American leaders who have contributed to continuing the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. set out years ago in their very own special way and in different lines of work. One of the lines that come from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s acceptance speech in the Nobel Peace Prize is, quote, "I still believe that one day mankind will bow before the altars of God and be crowned triumph over war and bloodshed, and nonviolent redemptive goodwill proclaimed the rule of the land. And the lion and the lamb shall lie down together, and every man shall sit under his own vine and fig tree, and none shall be afraid. I still believe that we shall overcome." Those words still ring very clear to the ears of many African American male leaders to this day. And we have several of them sitting right here in this studio where we are broadcasting live from in Jacksonville, Alabama. Remember, you can tune into our broadcast worldwide via the web at www.wljsnews.weebly.com. I would like to go ahead and have the time to introduce our guest for this evening. Our first guest is no stranger to WLJS News. He has made a plethora of appearances in regards to civil rights, racism, violence, and how to succeed in the world of politics. His name is Mr. David E. Reddick. David E. Reddick is on the Anniston, Alabama City Council, and he was also the Calhoun County NAACP head from 2009 to 2012. We also have here Mr. Landon Brooks. Landon Brooks is a professional photographer here in the Northeast Alabama area, and he has been doing his work since the year 2004. Pastor Fred Smith, who has also been a guest here at WLJS News. He is a pastor here in the Northeast Alabama area. He has been in the religious ministry for over 17 years. He is also in the adult completion program at Huntington College in Montgomery. It's a program that helps adults who want degrees get them. We also have Martez Packer, who is a former Bible study instructor at Jacksonville State University here in Jacksonville, Alabama, where we're broadcasting live from worldwide. He is also an employment specialist at ARC of Jefferson County, Alabama. He helps those who have intellectual disabilities find employment. We also have Larry T. Montgomery, who is a social worker at the Calhoun County, Alabama Department of Human Resources, and he has also been in youth ministry for 2 years. I want to welcome all you gentlemen here in the studio tonight. Such a pleasure to have such a distinguished panel of black men here in our studio tonight. First of all, just want to ask you, when you heard the song playing that we played in the intro, "When We Were Kings." By the way, that song is from our friend Martin, which was the cartoon version of when several kids went back in time to go see what it would what life would have been like had Martin Luther King Jr. not done the work that he completed. It was a movie that came out in the 90s, and that's where that soundtrack came from. It's called "When We Were Kings." What was going through you all's heads as you were thinking about that as young African American male leaders in this area of Northeast Alabama?
Well, I mean, for me, it's kind of, I try to surround myself with that anyway, the rhythm, the beat, the inspiration. I try to make sure that my whole life is filled with positive things and proactive things, because it actually helps me grow spiritually. Because if we just focus on everything that's not positive, if we just look at all the problems we have, we'll run ourselves crazy. So I that rhythm, that beat, that song, that kind of inspirational message is the kind of thing I try to surround myself with all day anyway. So it kind of built me up in the way that I try to build myself up continuously as is.
Like,
It's about the same way. I think that what you listen to definitely plays a role in your life. A lot of people listen to a lot of rap music and things that have no meaning. And like David said, I try to surround myself with music and songs, and they have meaning behind it. And listening to that song, it did take me back, like you said, to that peace, and just try to surround yourself with those kind of positive instrumentals and songs.
Right, and that movie, Our Friend Martin, it was, like I said, it was a 1999 animated children's educational film about Martin Luther King Jr. and the American Civil Rights Movement. These young kids, they traveled through time and they met Dr. King at several different points through his life. When he was a kid, when he was a teenager, then when he was a young adult, and then when he was actually a 30-something-year-old man in his civil rights work. I just want to ask you all, what kind of famous black male leader do you look up to in your line of work that you do as African-American men?
Well, for me, being a pastor and then also being an educator in higher education, finding what people will call, quote unquote, a successful pastor, mentor, is something that I think is very important. But many people judge success by different standards. For me, my father was the first leader that I had a chance to look up to, even before getting into the ministry. And I think he laid the tracks for my life and understanding of the responsibility of not just being a male, but being a man. I think that there's a great disparity between the two. Being a male is something that you don't have a choice in, but being a man, I think, is a choice. It's the maturation process of a male becoming. We go from a child to a boy, and then eventually we become a man. So my father, as a child, I saw him in his leadership role in our house, and so I give him the first credit for what he did. He took care of us as a family. And so even as a pastor today, the work ethic that he showed is something that's still benefiting me today. For as simple as watching him cut the grass on a regular basis. Even something as simple as that has been a blessing. And now when I cut the grass at my home, I could even look back at the times. Okay, so Daddy, this is what it was like when you were the head of our household and you had to work and cut the grass. So, my father, I give him that first seat. There are other inspirational leaders across the body of Christ that have shared great insight, inspiration. You mentioned a few of the names before the show. You mentioned T.D. Jakes, and he's definitely one of the people that I admire, of course, from a distance, just like most people. I've had a chance to sit in most of his settings. I've had some local leaders that have been played a role in my earlier years. I think this would be a good time to call their name. Wallace Cooley, I thank God for him early on in my growth and development. Jesse Mincy, and there are several others that through my journey I've had the privilege to work with. But T.D. Jakes